It's a significant day in the battle to restore power sharing in Northern Ireland. The Northern Ireland Secretary Chris Heaton-Harris has been holding talks with political peers. I'm joined now by GB News Northern Ireland reporter Dougie Beattie. Dougie Beattie, what's the latest?
Well, this all started off this morning, of course, with Chris Heaton-Harris holding a very brief press conference where he made a quick statement. And basically what he has said is this morning he has spent the time with the head of civil service in Northern Ireland, and it's all about a financial package. But of course the parties here in Northern Ireland have been battling since about 2010 because of Barnett consequentials. Northern Ireland gets less per head on the ideas of need rather than a Barnett consequential formula. That was contested by the Welsh Assembly back in 2010, and they got that changed to run alongside so as they would have a fiscal floor, so as they could pay their public services and so forth the right money in order to keep the country running. Well, this morning those talks have begun and all parties were in there. So at this minute they're not really talking about the protocol, they're not really talking about the framework, and you could say that maybe a deal is very close if they've got down to the nitty-gritty of talking about a financial package. But of course all parties here, and this is the irony of it all, is that they are all looking for that financial package that will be a lasting financial package, a formula that makes sure that that fiscal floor is in place. So even if they had have went back into government 21 months ago, what they're really saying is, well, they couldn't have afforded to pay the public sector workers any more money because that fiscal floor wasn't there. So the point that the DUP and the unionist parties have been saying through the last 21 months has brought us to this place in these talks, and it may look as if that deal may be very, very near indeed, because they're now talking about that fiscal floor being put into place in order that public sector workers can go back. So you can imagine if you were a minister, say, for health in the Northern Ireland Executive, even if you went back tomorrow and that wasn't in place, it would make no difference to the budget of Northern Ireland because, of course, the money wouldn't be there. And you have this position where right over my shoulder here on one side you have press conferences taking place with the parties as they come out of those talks, and on the other side we have the unions, health unions and teachers unions striking and protesting, asking for more money. So these talks will be due to go on till about Wednesday, and they were round table talks today, but they're very much separated in the next couple of days. It really is now up to Jeffrey Donaldson, if he has a deal, to start telling us what that deal is and to try and bring his party together and bring it in as one to sell the deal to the unionist population.
And Dougie, of course, Northern Ireland has a burgeoning public health workforce. Are we expecting the unions to be rattling their sabres and trying to drive for harder and harder bargains and more money?
Well, that is the point. If there's more money comes here, and particularly if it's a one-off payment, that'll be the real thing about it. Because of course, if there's an underspend, the Treasury brings it back into central government. So they will be looking for a bigger payment, and if it's only a one-off payment that Chris Heaton-Harris is actually putting into place here, that will be hard to do, because of course the next year after that you will have to see where you will get that money from. And in the middle of all that with the DUP you have this Rwanda deal that is coming in, and of course Northern Ireland through the framework document isn't allowed a border in the island of Ireland. Of course we border the Republic of Ireland that has an open borders policy with immigration, so even if they stop the boats coming in one door, the back door is wide open into the UK, because of course a lot of those, and it's already been happening, are coming across a border and into the UK and through the common travel area are entitled to travel inside the UK once they're there. And you could end up with the ridiculous situation where you have British citizens living in this part of the UK having to go through passport controls to get into the UK.